I was born and raised in Detroit. I love my city. I adore all the growth and the architecture and all the amazing things we've accomplished, whether it be Motown or the automotive industry. And as I've traveled the world and spent time and lived in different places, I find that there's no place like home. Detroit will always be home to me, and it'll always be a place that I love. I love this staple, which is amazing. And it really inspired me to do my podcast, which is called Detroit Girl Transformed. I decided to do this podcast on Resilient Radio, which is a Black-owned station based in Detroit. And it really highlights the transformation of my city while I, as an individual, was transforming. And what kind of people come out of Detroit, which are really people with hustle and grit, who are determined and also exhibit perseverance. The podcast will really focus on different people that have different phases of transformation, whether it be their finances, their well-being, their travel experiences, how they transform their relationships, how they transform their spiritual beliefs. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same thing, and that's what's best for our city, and that's what's best for our legacy and our future and our family.
Happy St. Patty's Day, DGT, and happy Transformation Tuesday. I am your favorite host and Detroit girlie, Tony Carter, your transformation coach, coming to you every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Resilient Radio stream as we highlight our transformative experiences. And what better way to talk about it than to have some dope guests who take that journey with you. So today I'm going to introduce some of my favorite foodies and food enthusiasts, Executive Chef Angel Palmer and Shay, business professional as well as food enthusiast. Welcome, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
And you guys look so festive in your green. I have on yellow, so I match. I feel like it's green and yellow.
Yes.
Shay, you want to tell us a little bit about your background?
Yes, I am from Detroit, currently living in Arizona, right outside of Phoenix. I lived in Chicago for 12 years before we moved here. So celebrating St. Patrick's Day became a thing because it has to when you live in Chicago.
Yes.
As you can see, I teleported myself back
Yes.
to the dying of the Green River, which I'm sure we would do all the things, but I work in property management. I've worked in property management for 16 years, not 6 years, 16 years. But I am a food enthusiast. If you look at my Instagram at CL Hinder, I cook all the time. I love, love, love caviar. I would throw caviar on a hot dog, a chicken nugget. If I ate chitlins, I would probably throw caviar on chitlins, but I won't do that. I will literally put caviar on anything. Okay. But yeah, that's about it. Married, got an old little dog. He just turned 15 a few weeks ago. And
Brooks is taking on over there.
Brooks is living his best spoiled life out here in the desert. So yeah, that's about it.
Well, thank you. And I love that you put us back in Chicago. And so just really quickly before we introduce our next guest, today we are talking about culture and cocktails. And how do we take and transform our experience where we can really experience the transformative power of bringing global traditions to our everyday life. And so Angel is going to talk to us about how to bring specific dishes that are easy to make as well as cocktails into your home for this special holiday. So Chef Palmer, can you tell us a little bit about your background?
Sure. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I am Angel Palmer. I am currently a culinary arts instructor. I started off just being a foodie, have a big family, and we would all get together and eat, and that's how we, celebrated. So I started doing, I was an Air Force wife previously in another lifetime, and I started.
That's a different story for a different episode.
Yes, it is. But I started cooking for like the wing commanders and the spouses club and doing little things here and there. And they were like, "Oh, you should do this professionally." I'm like, "No, I just love it." And then we PCS to another base in Ohio. I was living in Alabama at the time. When we moved to Ohio, I was like, "Well, let me just check out some culinary schools." I didn't have a job then, so I was like, "Let me see, what's out there." And I end up meeting Chef Michelle, who has become my mentor, and she had the same story as me, pretty much had started later on in life. Anyway, I fell in love with Sinclair. Shout out to Sinclair in Dayton, Ohio. I fell in love with the program, and from there, I started an internship working for in hospitality, different kitchens, restaurants, and then end up being a corporate chef, traveling corporate chef, executive chef, having a couple of restaurants of my own. I became like the Olivia Pope. I'm gonna toot my own horn a little bit. Olivia Pope of fixing, of fixing different dining establishments. So I had a great time doing that, and then I moved to Savannah in 2020, and yeah, and so I had to start all over again because it was COVID. So ended up becoming a culinary arts instructor, and I love it. I love my kids, and I love my child. I have a 4-year-old who will soon to be 5 in August, and he is full of energy and keeps me busy because I'm an old mama. So
Awesome, and thank you so much for sharing that. I do appreciate the fact that transformation just doesn't happen in the boardroom or in big life moments. Sometimes it happens around the table through culture, food, laughter, and shared experiences. And so I love the fact that the three of us have one or two connections, either our passion for food or our passion for culture or all of the above. And so I think one of also the cool things about this particular episode is we are all equally in different locations. Angel is in Savannah, Georgia. Kanithia Shea is in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm in Washington, D.C. And that just goes to show you how you can bring together an experience that you share, but be across the globe while you're doing it. So let's get into it. So tonight, my guest Shay and I are going to talk about a trip down memory lane. So Shay kind of started in the introduction about how we were obsessed and had a significant buildup to prepare for the annual tradition of going out for St. Patty's Day in Chicago. I definitely was Irish in my past life. And so we truly enjoy just the festivities, and we'll get into some conversation about that. But if you haven't experienced it, St. Patrick's Day is one of the largest celebrations of St. Patrick's Day. Actually happens in Chicago. Shay talked a little bit about they paint the river green. It's a really an iconic celebration that people come from near and far to experience St. Patrick's Day. And sometimes I think they start as early as like 4 a.m., right, Shay? And
Yes.
they go hard. So before we get into that conversation, I'm going to share a quick video and take us back down memory lane. Shay, how did you feel seeing that video? It was so nostalgic for me making it. I was like, oh, I miss it.
So many memories. Well, first, I have to show everybody that you bought me my first Chicago Irish shirt. I still have it.
Oh my God. Yes.
It was just so much fun. Chicago is one of those cities where it gives you everything. It gives you people, it gives you food, it gives you culture, it gives you sports. It gives you so many things, and a lot of things that weren't really on your radar either. St. Patrick's Day was not on my radar prior to living in Chicago, but that culture
Oh,
there celebrates it like no other. It's I always tell people like it's bigger than Christmas. Like Christmas, who? When it
I
comes
agree.
to
I agree. Because, I mean, they paint the whole river green with eco friendly dye,
Right. Yes. Eco-friendly dye because it looks jarring because it's literally like a neon, like super duper bright green. But people are downtown at 8 o'clock, like in the streets. They're dressed up. There's music. The fine dining places are pushing their tables to the side to make room for everybody. And then they follow it with the big parade. I believe Soldier Field. I don't know if they still do the big party at Soldier Field, but Soldier Field did a big thing. But to be out there with everybody that was Irish, that wasn't Irish, and you're, having cocktails and you're just celebrating a culture to like the utmost was a very, very, very fun thing to do. We lived in the suburbs, so we would be on that train at 8 o'clock in the morning, catching it.
Dedicated.
City,
And the train ride could get a little sketchy, by the way. Like we had a cutoff time where we had to get back to the train because the later train ride people were, got arrested on the train.
Yes, or even like I remember the first time I caught the train into the city, the first time Patrick's Day, I was sitting. You get on the train and there's the steps. I had to sit on the little nasty steps of the train because it was so packed, and it was literally like the 8:15 train. But that's how excited everybody is to get out there super early.
Get out there and drink. By about 11 o'clock, they can't feel their face.
Listen, by 2 o'clock, you are back home, you are done, and you're trying to figure out your next meal.
Yes, and I think, I don't know that I've danced in the street as much as, we would just dance on the street. I remember us being at McCormick and Schmick, just like jamming, the DJ rocking outside. It is March in Chicago. Some years we had it on coast, some years we didn't. But everybody was always outside. We were dancing. They always had food for us to like kind of replenish so we could re-up on the green drinks. And
then there was the little guy dressed as the leprechaun. That was always, it was always something like that. Somebody
and they would always be handing you like 4 shots.
Yes, fireball. You can't have St. Patrick's Day in Chicago without Fireball and then Malort. Malort and Fireball are the things, and they both taste terrible, but you're going to drink them anyway because you're in Chicago.
Because why not?
And you have to. That's a part of it. It's a part of it.
And we also had it was a big group of us that would go. Belinda is Angel's best friend. So Belinda, yes, that's so Belinda would be out there in the midst with us. We would have videos. We would be recording ourselves, just dancing, laughing. And then we did have a couple of moments that I thought would be appropriate to talk about where, sometimes the drinks got a little bit too much with the other people, with the others. And there was one time that me and Shay and my cousin were leaving, and this girl was convinced that Shay was an Uber driver, and she kept trying to get in our car. And so Shay was like, literally it was 3 of us in the car. We're like, where are you getting this from that we are Uber drivers?
She was actively trying to pull the door open. I'm like, I'm not first of all, I'm in the driver's seat. Tony is, I believe, was in the passenger seat, and she's trying to open the door. And we're like, we're not your Uber. We're not your Uber. And then, so we're trying to tell her, she's like fighting us. Like, no, this is an Uber car. And when I tell you, I have to like snatch Tony back, I'm like, that's a little about our friendship because this little corporate thug at the time was about to get out the car and yank that girl up. And it was so quick.
I did. Yeah. So she had said, Shay, you remember she was like, calm the, I'm not going to swear, but she said, calm the F, but she drug that F word out for about 5 minutes.
Yes.
Calm the F down. So I'm trying to get out my seatbelt. Shay put the child lock on the door because I told her, and I rolled my window down, I said, my friend saved your life because you are not going to talk. I don't care how many fireballs she had. I was like, so Shay was like, oh my God, Tony, no. So she had to put the child lock on the car. My cousin in the back, Pumpkin was so activated. She's trying to get to the front seat. She wanted to come out of my window. That's how
it was her friends. Her friends were around her and they were telling her like, no, stop. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. And I'm looking at her like, girl, you don't want to do this.
No.
Like you have to stop. But yeah, some people, I think that was one of those nights too where we stayed out past 2 p.m.
Yeah,
because
that's our
anything
cutoff.
past
Anytime
2
we stay out past
p.m.
2 p.m., something happens and it gets real weird.
Exactly. So
Because people start drinking at like 3 a.m.
right.
3 a.m. And so we're not committed enough because we don't drink like that. Like we really just want to be out in the wild and like be Irish for a day. We we don't drink like that. So when you stay there past 2 p.m., you with people that are different than you, that are really committed to just being intoxicated in the streets of Chicago, which has never been a flex for me.
No.
So,
for a good 12 hours, like, no, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know why they didn't just have paramedics like parked at every corner to just wheel people in.
Listen.
I honestly think because I don't live in Chicago anymore, I don't really celebrate as much. I was going to ask you about that. Do you go out in Phoenix? It's kind of making me sad. Like, it kind of makes me feel like we should do like a reunion.
We should. And that's every time someone asks me about going to visit Chicago, because there's a lot of people here that just have not been. So it's funny because Chicago is one of the, I was reading a study because I work in real estate. So I always read like market studies and who's moving where and who's moving here to Phoenix. And at one point, Phoenix was like the top 3 of places that people were coming to Phoenix.
Really?
Yeah, so there's a lot of like Chicago stuff here, like Chicago themed restaurants. Lou Malnati's has a huge presence. I actually live across, they do. I live across the parking lot from a Portillo's.
Day. Now I would have been in Phoenix if you would have told me that.
Right. Live across the parking lot from Portillo's, and I want to say they have like a Chicago festival too. So, but that type of celebration just does not happen here. Where they're celebrating, you could probably go to like an Irish bar or something like that.
Or something.
Yeah, but how they do it in Chicago.
The city immersed in like an underground movement of St. Patrick's Day.
Right. That's exactly what it is. I don't think you're going to get that anywhere else because you definitely don't get it here in Phoenix. What about Savannah, Angel?
Savannah, actually, I think they have the second largest St. Patrick's Day celebration. Mm-hmm. So they used to paint dye the river green, but they don't do that anymore. But they do the fountain at Forsyth Park. They turn our city hall green. They light the whole. It's a big celebration. Actually, the whole city is off from work unless you work in hospitality and you have to work, but the whole city is off. I mean, school is shut down, everything. It is
like we might have to go to Savannah.
It is fun. Y'all gonna have to come here. Like, I'm gonna have to do Chicago and then y'all come here.
Right.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's big here. So it's exciting to hear that Chicago, I didn't realize that it was that big in Chicago. I'm thinking like now that I'm in Savannah, that's the only place to do, to celebrate.
Yeah, no, it's like, yeah. And that's exactly like you said, commit. Now we didn't get the day off. Now I feel some type of way about the fact that they got the day off. And normally if it falls on the weekend, we get like a 4-day weekend, Thursday, Friday. Wait a minute. They really think they Irish down there because we don't a 4-day weekend.
I mean,
I hope y'all still give everybody MLK Day off while y'all give it.
They do.
They're like, nope, we replaced that with St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. No, we don't get President's Day off because they celebrate St. Patrick's Day.
Well, I'm okay with that.
I think that's okay.
I think it's a fair swap. What do you think?
I like that.
Yeah, I'm into it. So I think, as we talk through like some of these traditions and, Angel, I know you're going to tell us a little about your dishes, but Shay, I'm also curious for you how you, landed in Chicago and what that story was. And I'll tell my story in Chicago. Angel, I'd love for you to tell your story about how you landed in Savannah.
So, of course, born and raised in Detroit, went to high school in Detroit, went to college in Detroit, go blue, class of 04. And then a few years after college, I started dating someone. and he was living in Chicago. And we connected at a party over Thanksgiving, you know, back in the 2000s when people actually used to go out and dance and fill the clubs. We connected at a friend's party. And maybe a year or so later, we started dating. And then we were long distance for 2 years. And then at some point, I was like, you know what? I'm like, at that point, I was willing to start over, like in my career and whatever, to like focus on my personal life and be with him. And it worked out. We're married.
Oh.
Yep. So we've been together 18 years
I
now.
wasn't sure if you were gonna get us to the finish line and you married Earl or what.
Yep. We have our 10-year anniversary is this year, this September.
Oh my gosh. Now that makes me feel old.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I've been together 18 years, married almost 10. So that is how I ended up in Chicago. And it was wonderful because, like Tony said, we have mutual friends. Some of my childhood friends were her childhood friends, and they connected us when we were there. I think everybody, that group at the time, was very social. So we did a lot. And St. Patrick's Day was definitely one of those things we did together.
Yeah, I was getting a little emotional. I remember going bridal. I think we went shopping for your bridal shower dress.
Yes, shopping for the bridal shower dress. And you were one of the captains of the bridal shower, which was amazing. Thank you very much. I was telling somebody the other day how I sent y'all a PowerPoint presentation from our bridal shower, and y'all executed
Yes, you did.
every single thing. It was just,
Yeah, you did. I remember that. And I was okay with that. Like, you know, yeah. I don't think it was, and Angel, we can't see you anymore. I think your screen went black. But I don't think you were like a bridezilla or anything. I thought it was like very clear on how you wanted things executed. I was into it.
Right. I was like, I didn't want y'all to have to like meet and make a big fuss and like all those things. So I was like, you know what? This is what I have in mind. And it was literally one of the best things about getting married was my shower. I think my shower was unmatched. It went from 11:30 in the morning to almost 9 o'clock at night when the last person left. It was a really good time.
Yes, yes. And I do remember, like, you also wanted to be involved with your bridal shower as far as that Bloody Mary bar, because I didn't drink Bloody Marys, but the Bloody Mary bar that you made was insane.
Yes, shout out to McClure's. They have the blessed Bloody Mary mix. If you have not had it, we literally bought it by the gallon from Eastern Market because they sold it by the gallon at the time. But yeah, that Bloody Mary bar was my favorite thing. I will still get down on a Bloody Mary.
Yeah, and I only drink yours because I'm not a fan. I'm not. So, Angel, tell us a little bit about how you got to, and I'll talk about after you talk about yours, how I got to Chicago. Tell us a little bit about how you got to Savannah, which I think Savannah is a really nice, just historic culinary place. They have amazing food, amazing historic locations as far as history. So, tell us how you got your journey to Savannah.
Sure. So I originally from Flint, Michigan, and I worked and traveled and did all kind of stuff. And anyway, in 2020 during COVID, both my mom and my stepdad both got diagnosed with cancer within 3 weeks of each other. And so I had to. My father had just passed a few months before that, and so I did not want to come to Savannah. I lived in Savannah for a short period of time when I graduated from Eastern. And so I was 20 something. I was like, oh, I was dreading. I did not want to come back to Savannah. But of course, I had to come back and take care of them. So, and it paid off. So my parents are doing, they're up and down. They're up and down now. I would like to say that they were better, but they're up and down. And Savannah has actually become what I needed. So personally, I had my little boy, and then
doing the best sorority in the world.
Yes. I became a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. During this time, I started my business back up. I had stopped for a number of years, and my business has been picking up as a private chef. Have a catering tomorrow, and it's just been growing and growing by word of mouth. I haven't really been advertising because I'm like kind of like, I want to get out there, but I don't, but they are keeping me very busy. Thanks. I will say the stores are keeping me busy. They are. So I'm
I
very
told you.
blessed and very thankful. And then their friends and their friends' friends. So I'm blessed in that. So Savannah has become home. It has grown on me. It's a beautiful city, like you said, full of culture, full of history. Some really great food out here, so it's inspiring. And yes, Shay, you gotta come visit. You have to.
Yeah.
I come a couple times a year. I'm gonna get down there for sure before the fall. I know I'm coming for Harrison's birthday, but it's just a good time, and I like to just hang out. And I'll be like Angel, be going to work, and I'll be just walking downtown because it is a place. It's not that this is important, but I think you can walk and drink, like it's open.
Yes, that you can.
Yeah. So, and it's super fun, super beautiful, and they have like really cool tours. They have ghost tours. I have to do those with Angel because I'm scared. But and me and Angel and Belinda went on a ghost tour. Remember, we had like a
Uh-huh.
whole weekend. We went and we were running like
No.
and we've been on them haunted houses with Belinda. She can really take off. We should have had her on this episode.
I
Actually,
know.
I just
Oh
thought about it.
no. No ghost tours, no haunted houses. I'll hold the coats. I'll man the car. I will watch the kids. I will even clean your kitchen before I go on anything scary. So,
There's a lot of haunted houses and paranormal activity going on here in Savannah. Do want to warn you.
no.
Yes, and I don't play with that in New Orleans, so I'm not playing with it in Savannah. So. In New Orleans, I'll be like, "Where's the holy oil? I don't want to talk about none of this vampire community."
No.
Because one time, no, I did a ghost tour in New Orleans, seriously, guys, and it was like this well-known haunted house, and I could feel the hairs like
Oh my
coming off my
goodness.
back.
No.
The way I prayed
No.
over myself, and then
Yes.
I was so scared, I threw away my alcohol because I feel like I had to be centered into the Lord. I threw my drink in the trash and was like, started praying because I had never experienced it. Like I could feel the hair, like those little fire
Oh.
hairs.
Mm.
I was like, no.
No.
So, and Shay, I want to give you your flowers because you have been cooking for years, and I would love to know what inspired you to start cooking. You and Angel both do something special where you guys cook with love, intention, and heart and soul. Just tell me what inspired you to start cooking and doing and sharing some of your creations on Instagram.
Yeah. So cooking has always kind of been a thing in my family. My grandfather, when we were younger, so my grandfather was an entertainer and traveled the world. So of course he was exposed to everything. And when he would come home, he would take, there was a restaurant in Dearborn in Michigan called Big Fish. I don't know if y'all remember Big Fish, but Big Fish was like nice seafood. Like, and
Yeah.
every time they would come to Detroit, we would go there. And at a very young age, we were eating snails. We were eating green chili on pizza and different things. And to me, it was all good. So when I got a little bit older, like in college, I started dabbling a little bit, just like cooking a little bit, once we moved out of the dorm. And then when I started dating Earl, we went out to some restaurant in Chicago. And I think the meal at the time was like $100 and something, which almost 20 years ago was like a pretty decent amount of money for food. And he was like, I'm not taking you out every week and spending this amount of money on food. You need to learn how to cook. And it was like something like that, he said. And honestly, I just kind of took that and ran with it. And then cooking just became very natural to me. I don't have, just you know what to taste. Once, my palate is very, very open. Like I will try anything. I will cook anything. Except chitlins are still, it's one of those things I tried as an adult and I was like, it's just a hard no. There's very few things that are a hard no. So yeah, it just kind of, to me, it's fun. At this point, it's therapeutic. I do not see a therapist. I see the kitchen. So I invest a lot in like my knives and my cookware. the ingredients that I buy, grocery. If I could be a professional grocery shopper for anybody, I would love that. So yeah, it's therapeutic, but I'm also just passionate about it because it's fun and it's creative and it's an outlet for me. And you got to eat. So why not eat some good stuff?
Shay, remember when I was trying to convince you to do culinary school in Paris? I was like obsessed with that.
I'm still obsessed with it, but I don't know how Earl will feel about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I would love to. So for work recently, he had some changes at work recently, and he's managing part of a team in Asia now. And I was like, so this happened like a few weeks ago, and I was like, so we got to move? I was like, are we moving to Hong Kong? Like, what are we doing? Because at this point, once you've moved once or twice or whatever, it's just like home is us. So we can be anywhere. But yes, if I had the opportunity, I would absolutely go to culinary school in Paris. But I think next year I get a sabbatical for work. Right, every 10 years. No, every 10 years, and then every 5 years once you reach your 10 years, you get a 6 week sabbatical. Thank you to my employer for rolling out that benefit. But I want to go to Napa. There's a culinary school in Napa, and I want to go there for a couple weeks and take classes.
Oh, let me know. I'll come down there and taste all the wine.
Yes, we'll do a couple wine tours. But I want that. So that's a part of it. So I've actually been looking into that, and that is a part of my sabbatical plan is to spend some time in Napa. And one of my best friends lives there, so she's getting a roommate for a couple weeks. She doesn't know it yet. She'll be fine with it. But I do want to do that.
Yeah. And you know me, Angel knows this. I'll be right. If I had a sabbatical, I'd be in Italy 5 weeks. I mean, without hesitation.
Yep.
Pack my clothes. I don't care if I rewear them. I don't care. I would be like eating in Italy, living my life. So Angel, tell us a little bit about when you realized that culinary world was your calling.
Really Sunday dinners. They were so important as I was growing up. Sitting around that table with the family, reminiscing about the past, talking about the future and current events, just bringing that togetherness. I can still taste some of the food. So when I really decided to do this professionally, I just kind of wanted to do that same thing, create those core memories that I had from those Sunday dinners growing up. So like I said, I'd end up just saying, I'll try it. I'll go to culinary school, see if I like it. And I absolutely fell in love with it. I haven't wanted to do anything else, all things food, in different avenues. I have worked as a chef. I've worked as a general manager. I want to do more. We might need to go to Paris together to do because I want to learn.
Remember that time you had a booking? Where did I think it was? And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going." Was it like something that I thought?
I can't remember. It was. I don't know. It was like a city that was the same name as something else, and you were like,
Ireland. I thought we were in Ireland going to Ireland.
Dublin, Georgia.
Yes, I was like,
like,
you got a job in Dublin. I literally was like, started packing my bag. I was like, I will be your sous chef. We are going. And she was like, Dublin, Georgia. I was like,
like, that is not the same. That is not the same.
So, it's a group chat with me, Angel, and Mario. Mario was screaming because I was just like, I was in Ireland, okay?
No, ma'am. I think they just got a Chick-fil-A.
And I was like, Dublin, Georgia. What? Shay, Angel couldn't bubble. She could not invite me fast enough because I was like, oh, I'll go. Like, I was just, and she was like, Dublin, Georgia. I was just like, oh my God. Like, what? Who did that to me? It was like a terrible prank.
He was so disappointed.
I mean, flatline. I was just like, Oh my
That's
God.
so sad.
I didn't even think about where, calling off where I don't even know. I was just mentally, I was in Ireland. I was there. And I was like, I wonder if it's a castle. I had went all the way. What am I going to wear? Am I going to slay with my leather hats? Am I going to
No,
get a,
ma'am.
Oh,
I had my
man.
fashion going, everything. I was ready. So first of all, this has just been like the best girl catch up, a little kiki, a good trip down memory lane.
Wow.
Talking about the culinary life in Savannah. Shay, you and I just doing a trip down memory lane of our love and lifestyle in the Chicago St. Patrick's Day world.
Yes.
So we're going to go to a commercial break. And then when we come back, it's hats off to the chef. And we're going to pass it over to Angel. And she's going to give us a quick tutorial on how to make a Irish themed drink as well as a cool quick appetizer. So we're going to go to commercial because we got to pay the bills. So if you would like to be a sponsor or advertiser for DGT and you want to join this transformative journey with Detroit Girl Transform, be sure to email me at dgt313podcast@gmail.com. We welcome all advertisement and we look forward to it. So if you want to join us, be sure again to email us at dgt313@podcast.com. So we're going to go ahead and go to a commercial break.
We asked a group of scientists, what does it take to make the perfect toilet paper? And here's what they said. That's right. Use potty products, please. Thank you.
Shout out to one of our favorite sponsors from Potty Products. They are an amazing sponsor and so excited and so happy to be on this journey with us on Detroit Girl Transform. They have been with us from the beginning, but we are definitely looking for more sponsors. If you want to join and have a commercial, you can have advertisement at the beginning, you can have advertisement at the end of the episode, you can do one episode, you can do 15 episodes. So we have different marketing and advertisement packages for people that want to take this journey with us. Welcome back. Welcome back to Detroit Girl Transform. I am your host and your favorite Detroit girly, Tony Carter. I have been doing this. This is season 3. Can you guys believe it? I'm on season 3 of my podcast. And so I just want to kind of take the time to commiserate the fact that I decided to do a podcast on transformation because transformation is something that I'm doing personally. And so to have people experience different transformative lifestyle experiences, travel, business, leisure, and be able to teach people one day, one step, one direction at a time into the future of the best version of you has been one of my lifelong inspirations. So I do want to thank the Resilient Radio Stream that's actually based in Detroit for giving me this opportunity to do such an amazing journey of podcasting, which has been a great learning experience. If you have a chance, you can catch my, I think I kicked it off for season 2, where I talked about, what I learned from my first season of the podcast versus today. All right. So hats off to the chef. We're going to pass the mic over to Angel. And Angel, Chef Palmer is going to walk us through, what the dish is. She's going to tell us a little bit about the dish. Then she's going to share with us how to make the dish, and then she's going to give us the final product. So, Chef Palmer, I don't know if you want to tell us a little bit about the dish before you get started.
All righty. Well, first, I want to start off with this cocktail because, what's the point of St. Patrick's Day if you don't have a cocktail to start? So this is a Irish mule So I just have a little ice in here. And I already have my 2 ounces of Jameson Irish whiskey, ginger beer. I'm not going to put too much in there because I want more Jameson than I do anything else. A little fresh squeeze of lime. Add 2 mint leaves. A little lime to garnish. Mix that up. And we have our Irish mule. Very simple, refreshing, and ready for St. Patrick's Day. I think I need to take a sip real quick.
You should. I need a sip.
Oh, I needed that. That was good.
I was at a work event a couple weeks ago, and that's literally what I ordered at the work event was the Irish Mule. It was those are delicious.
All right. So, Angel, we're going to go ahead and you're going to do a cooking presentation for us, and we appreciate you for that. And then after you do the cooking presentation, can you just go ahead and let us know what the end result's going to look like?
Sure. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'll get that prepared for you. And just to let you know, today we're going to do just some quick appetizers. There is a corned beef slider with some thinly sliced deli corned beef, Swiss cheese, sauerkraut, and Thousand Island dressing. A little everything bagel seasoning because I didn't have caraway seeds, so we're just going to use that since it has everything in there. Brush with a little butter and garlic and put it in the oven. The other appetizer is we're going to do a spinach and artichoke dip. The twist is we're doing a Irish Dublin imported cheese. So very ooey and gooey, and it has a little bit of nuttiness, but a little sweetness with that cheese. And, we went all the way and used some Kerrygold Irish butter. So.
Oh, that sounds very good. I think we should make that. I think I might make that again on make that again later on in the week. So, but yeah, so we're looking forward to that. So Angel's gonna go grab the food. Shay, any closing thoughts about your time as an Irish person 1 day a year in Chicago?
Yes, one at the end of the day is just lit. It's one of the most lit experiences, and it's fun. And if you're going to visit Chicago, especially not in the dead of winter, although I think the holidays in Chicago are absolutely beautiful and classic and cozy.
Stunning. Yes.
Like it's just nothing like it. That to me is a really great time to go to because it's fun. You get to see the city. It's not too cold, and you get to experience one of those very, very cool things that happen in Chicago. Like Chicago is one of the most culturally rich cities, I feel. In like I said, in people and art and food and so many things in fashion. It's just it's a really, really, really great time. And then I was going to say before we get back to Angel, corned beef and cabbage. If that's not a universal love language for everybody, I feel like everybody eats corned beef and cabbage. And then if you live in Detroit, you got, the corned beef sandwich is like
yeah, it's insane. But we eat ours on onion rolls.
Everything. Oh yes, you gotta have your onion roll and Swiss cheese. But then like the immersion of like the corned beef egg roll, I feel like Detroit started that.
Yeah,
corned beef egg roll, and now you go everywhere, and they have Philly cheesesteak egg rolls and so many different egg rolls. But corned beef and cabbage is like
it's a staple.
Yes. It is a staple, a cultural staple. Yes.
Yes.
We're going to make our sliders with everything you see here. We're going to start by assembling our sliders with some Swiss cheese, corned beef. Then we're going to cut up some onions, julienne them, saute them until brown. We're gonna put the sauteed onions and sauerkraut together, top them, put a little melted butter, everything bagel seasoning, and there you go.
All right, so we have I put some caramelized onions on there. I just think caramelized onions make everything taste better. I love building flavor profiles. So we have our caramelized onions, our sauerkraut, our corned beef, our Swiss cheese, Thousand Island, a little garlic, and our everything bagel seasoning. So I already had one. Really good. Really, really good. All right, and then
let's make our Irish cheese dip with the ingredients you see here. We're going to spray our pan, grate our cheese. We're going to mix in some sauteed diced onions if you would like for extra flavor. We're going to dice our artichokes, chop our spinach, add some cream cheese, sour cream, salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. Put the cheese on top of that and bake it for about 15 minutes.
This is our dip. So, like I said, it has our Dublin Irish cheese in here, a little spinach, artichoke, cream cheese, sour cream, and I just put a little bit of that shredded cheese right on top. And then for additional flavor, I just added some a little garlic, a little onion, and I put red pepper flakes in mine. That's optional. You don't have to do that, but I always like a little bit of red pepper flakes in my spinach and artichoke dip. Let me wipe that up. So I always like that. So I always put that in there. Dropped a little bit. So anyway, I got a little just garlic toast just to dip it. And I wish y'all were here. I want to share. I haven't tried this. I just tried the filling a little bit. Like I said, salt, pepper, garlic, onion. That's all you need. The cheese really does all the work for you in this one.
Mm-hmm. We are celebrating. So thank you.
That's perfect with this cocktail.
Oh, I know. That Irish
I'm sorry.
mule.
I wish I was here.
Right. We should have booked a ticket to Savannah to do a live podcast at Angel's home.
Yes, absolutely. The next one we're gonna be there eating, and I'm probably gonna forget I'm on camera because I've done that. It tasting you and Angel's food. So, well, thank you.
I'll bring the caviar.
Oh yes, caviar on anything, bread, toast, whatever. Caviar makes everything better.
Yes.
Thank you both for joining this episode of Detroit Girl Transform. And thank you to my DGT family for spending this Tuesday with me. Happy St. Patty's Day. It is such a great opportunity to bring some culture together and spend time together. Make sure you tune in every Tuesday at 9 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Resilient Radio stream. Because transformation is a journey and we're walking it together. So until next time, keep growing, keep shining, and keep transforming. I'm Tony Carter, your host of Detroit Girl Transform. See you next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Happy St. Patty's Day, everybody.
Bye.
Hi. Happy St. Patty's Day.
Happy St. Patty's Day.